is change in college football, but over more than 150 years, there have been some things that you can count on. If you can run the football, you have a chance to win. And boy, do we have guys who can do that in this one. Welcome to the Big House, home of the Michigan Wolverines. As we'll see the number 9 team in the country, the Penn State Nittany Lions, taking on one of the participants from last year's playoff, the Michigan Wolverines. For EA Sports College Football, Reese Davis with you alongside David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, can't wait to get this one started. The Wolverines will put total leather and will get started. Coming out with it, it's Johnson. Gets it out to the 20, about 5 yards short of where he'd be if he'd just taken a knee in the end zone. So Penn State's offense makes its way onto the field to open this game. This is what we expected. This crowd ready to make its presence known. Out of the shotgun, they go to the ground. Pass to Sticks, and he may get more. Building momentum, picking up a chunk of yardage, moving the chains out to the 34. Wants to throw on first down off the play fake. He's got it, and he's still running after the move. Huge plays like that can change the complexion of a game, and he's got it at the 22-yard line. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. That big play put them in business. Now they're right on the edge of the red zone as they go to work 1st and 10. They'll move the tight end. The play action fake. Fires to the wideout. Working that left side. He's run out of bounds after the big gain, and they are in business, 1st and goal. They'll try to get it in with the run. Into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Penn State!
This offense is so good. Man, they can hurt you in so many different ways, and they do it so quick, so explosive. They can put small drives together, big drives together. They've really had a great year, and that's why they're a top 10 offense.
Setting up for the extra point after the first score of the game. And with the extra point, they get the first 7 of the game. Quick work on that scoring drive, just 4 plays. And close the deal with a 3-yard touchdown run. On the run from inside his own 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. So Michigan's offense will get the ball for the first time. And they are led up front by a powerful offensive line that opens up an array of possibilities, Jesse.
No question it's the identity of this offense. Multiple players up front that are going to play in the National Football League. This unit is going to be up for the Joe Moore Award at the end of the year for the outstanding O-line, David. They are going to try and establish the line of scrimmage with their physicality.
Man, it's a tremendous challenge with this defensive line because you know that. Like, you've got to be aggressive. You've got to be physical. I've got to take away their ability to run the football. It's nasty, they're dirty, I love it.
Finds the tight end. Makes the grab and knock. And the Wolverines can play this second down a lot of ways with just a few yards to go. The give to the right. He showed off the stiff arm, but apparently he needed a couple more. A lot of defenders around to stop him. He'll keep it on the sneak. The Wolverines are moving quickly down the field. They'll go to the ground. Oh, he's got some space. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see which way that's going to go. A very productive play until it was wiped out by that penalty, and they'll go back to work. On first down, here comes this offense. From the gun, the give, looking for room. Can't get him to the ground. And he slips the first defender and picks up a handful of yards. What will they dial up on second and a long way to go? Looking to throw, it's Vincent. Right on the money. And they pick up just a few on that completion. It'll be third and long. They'll try the right side. Hard running there. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple. And the Wolverines send out the punt unit. He ought to be able to use this first punt to pin him deep. It sends the offense back onto the field. Already a solid start to this one. Now back to work with this 7-0 lead. They stop him behind the line of scrimmage. He ran through one guy, but not through the rest. Off the boot, looking for his man. He'll off one deep down the left side. And the incomplete pass taking a shot on second down, and they'll be left with a third down. From the gun, wants to pass. He's got the tight end. Ripping off a pretty good chunk of yardage. They've got it out to the 41 with a first down. The Nittany Lions come to the line with a new set of downs. They'll leave it with him. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple. After losing a couple on that last play, here's second and 12. Looking to fire. Unloads to the wideout. Working the middle. Good job running that route to get past the sticks because he got nothing after the catch. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. The offense will put it in play from the 47 on first and 10. Red pass, it's complete. There he goes. They'll finally get him on the ground, but not before he makes it to the 30 and gets a first down. He'll pull it on the read. Finds a crease at the 20. And he's brought down after a nice gain. The Nittany Lions pounded the rock to move the sticks, now back to work. The give, red zone, third down. They can't pick up the first without scoring. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play. They'll have to settle for a field goal attempt. This whole play is going to see if this kicker can operate in the sea of noise. Nestled just inside that right upright. And that lead grows even bigger. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. They were able to get a field goal on the board, and now they'll kick it away. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. So here comes the Michigan offense. They've spotted them a 10-0 start. Now to see if they can answer on this drive. Not much doing there. He gets it to the 26, a gain of 1. Didn't get much on first down. It's second and 9. He's got it again. He breaks a tackle. Runs ahead and powers his way for 4 yards out to the 30. Ball sitting right at the 30. It'll be third and short. Looking to throw, it's Vincent. That one comes out hot down the right side. And the explosive play, and they're on the move all the way to the 44.
Well, I think on that play you saw why this guy's such a big weapon in this offense. At receiver, he does such a nice job with his routes. He's patient, and he's consistent, and he's got good hands. You don't see him put a lot of balls on the ground. Nice job there picking up the first down.
Wants to throw on first down. The screen, he can go. And a good job of coverage by that defense, just a short pickup. Behind the chains now on second and long. They'll go to the counter. All down, but he has enough to move the chains. The Wolverines are marching down the field. Here's the handoff. Ran through the tackle, and he's got room to run. How many guys are left grabbing for air as he gets it to the 26-yard line? We've come to the end of the quarter, and it's Penn State on top. They largely dominated this first quarter as indicated by the stats. Now the challenge here, they've taken a punch, but they can't let it get out of hand as we start the second. So second down here as we're back at it after the break. Give to the running back. Brought down after a good pickup, and they're in the red zone at the 20. And the Wolverines kept this drive moving on the ground, now back to work. Hand off from the shotgun. He rumbles all the way down to the 2-yard line. He gave him a little bit of everything on that one. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. First and goal and a touchdown here really gives them momentum. Trying to pound their way in. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Wolverines.
It gets closer and closer to the end zone right here. You know what's coming as a defense. The offense has to be physical, and they were. And the back knew exactly what he had to get 6.
They'll try to tack one more on their score. And with the extra point, the lead is cut to 3. It's 10-7. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Hey, guys, let's take a look at what's happening in a great top 25 matchup. LSU is just getting blown off the field today. It's like they haven't even been competitive. How'd you like to be the network censor on the coaches show this week?
Quarterback on the keeper.
They're trailing by 28 to Texas A&M. Implications galore inside the SEC, and we'll circle back if anything big should happen.
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. And it'll be incomplete. This defense is physical and pass deep. Big noise in the big house for this huge third down play. Looking for a man. It's Pitts. He puts a lot of air under it down the sideline. And that'll be incomplete. They certainly weren't afraid to take a shot there, and now it's 4th down. And the Nittany Lions will bring the punt team onto the field. This will be their first punt of the afternoon. They'll put a stop to that return as he gets it up to the 41-yard line. Guys, here come those maize and blue winged helmets on offense. This is a game of swings and momentum. Breaks into the open. They make the stop, but there is a flag on the field. We'll see what that's all about. A solid gain on that one, and it goes for naught as the penalty will back them up. He'll do it himself. They get him in the backfield, and he loses 3 on the play. The Wolverines now with a long way to go to pick up the first down. The pull and throw off the RPO. And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few. It'll take some work to get to the sticks. It's 3rd and long from the 30. Looking to throw, and he needs a bunch. Puts it out of the air.
Well, that time on 3rd and long, they just took what the defense gave them. Nothing down the field. They were hoping maybe he could make somebody miss after the catch. Wasn't able to do it, so now it sets up 4th.
Fields to punt and tries to help improve that field position. Everybody stays in their lanes well enough, and they stop him at the 31-yard line. The Nittany Lions going back to work on offense now. Pulls it, fired, complete. And they finally get him down, but not before. He's got him set up for business at the 49-yard line.
Well, we see another catch by this guy. This defense is going to need to do a better job of tackling the catch. In coverage, I know they want to slap the ball away, but if you can't do it and force the incompletion, you've got to at least make sure you're able to drag him down to the ground as soon as he catches the ball.
The Nittany Lions just got that huge run. They'd love another explosive play. Out of the gun to give to the back. Gets away from one. Finds some space.
And those body blows really, really matter. Like, I want to be able to hand the ball off to my running back 10, 15 times a game. Make the defense tackle them, wear them out. Sometimes these 3 to 4 yard.
Picked off. He managed a few yards on that return, but the bigger play was the fact that they forced the turnover.
It's all about making plays, and this guy's been waiting to make his mark on this team. He gets his first interception of the season, and what a momentum-changing play for his team.
And here comes the Michigan offense back on the field. A rather unproductive series last time, 3 and out, and they'll try to do better this time around. This freshman makes the stop after a short gain, after picking up a couple at 2nd and 8. Looking to pass, it's Vincent. Fires to the big fella. And the defense had that one well covered, just a short gain there. And the Wolverines come to the line on 3rd and short, trying to convert here. And the defense will corral the quarterback, and down he goes at midfield.
How nice is it as a defense when you can drop 7 guys into coverage, only rush 4, and still get home? That makes you feel good if you're the D coordinator.
The Wolverines will line up to punt it away. Special teams coming through as they pin them back. They'll mark it dead at the 10. Penn State sends the offense back onto the field. They think there's room to run to the right here. Some hard running there, but just too many defenders as he stopped for a loss. The roar of the crowd trying to fuel this defense to keep them pinned in their own end. Fires to the big fella. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. Big noise, big house, trying to rile up this Michigan defense on 3rd down. Oh, they're after him. He did not make it a stone wall on 3rd down. The Nittany Lions decide to punt it away. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. No fair catches here, looking for room. Really good job by the coverage team to make the stop, and that's where they'll put it in play. Power football with the run. And he's able to bounce off one tackle, but still not a whole lot of running room. After the 3-yard pickup, they come to the line 2nd and 7. They go to the ground. Some belief in that running game as they pick up 5 to the 35-yard line. And the Wolverines come to the line on 3rd and short, hoping to keep the drive alive. On 3rd and short, they'll try to pick it up on the ground here. That'll be enough for the 1st down as they mark it down at the 31-yard line. Gives it on the option. Got the 1st down and more. Got some room headed to the goal line. They'll get him stopped just short of the end zone, but they're in business here with a 1st down.
It was so important this offense was able to find a way to get in the rhythm, and the running game is now helping that. 2 straight punts on their previous 2 drives. This drive, though, they're having a little bit more success. Big reason why is this running back. He's been able to find some creases to run through, and it's really helping out this offense.
They lost ground on 1st down, now 2nd and goal from the 5. He'll run it to the right, looking for the goal line. He pushes it forward all the way to the 2-yard line. They've gotten right on the cusp of the end zone. They still need 2 yards. Will it? Into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Michigan.
3rd and goal, you're going to turn around and just give it to this guy who just has a nose for the end zone. He's able to find the crease and pay it off for his offense.
The AT unit on the field. And with the extra point, they're up 14 to 10. So they move the ball 43 yards on that drive. They're set to kick it off, and this crowd now ready to get behind them. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. Plenty of time to work, not any time to waste as they take over here in the final 2 minutes of the half. Looking to throw, it's Pitts. Here's the pressure. Trying to make magic on the scramble. He'll be run out of bounds, but there is a flag on the play. Holding penalties, the ultimate drive killer. We'll see if it costs this offense here. Snaps it in the shotgun. Finds his big tight end. They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a first down. To the air on second down. Rushes on him. Quick timeout by the defense there, trying to make sure everyone has the same call. They've got them then deep in their own end, and this crowd trying to help keep them there. He leaves it with his back. What a play by this defense, and they stop him short. It'll be fourth down. Referee signals timeout. It's the defense wanting to make sure that they have everything just right with a big play coming. Punt is in the air. Wants to bring it back. The solid return there offsets some of the punt yardage and really sets up this offense nicely. Toss to the outside. Oh, and that's just like a penalty. They get in the backfield and knock him down for a loss of 5. Lost 5 on that first play, and now it's 2nd and 15. Safe completion on the screen. And he goes out of bounds after a nice pickup on that one. They've got to come up with a big play on this 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Under fire. Makes the grab. And they'll stop him about 5 yards short of the first. We've got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. They boot it away. Going to make sure he doesn't get a return on this one as the punt bounces out of bounds. Back to pass, it's Pitts. Makes the grab on the left. Here's a timeout on the field. Tight game here late in the first half. Wants to throw, he's working against the clock. Makes the grab. They're working their way toward midfield. He's out of bounds at the 46. The offense setting up shop at the 46, 1st and 10. Wants to go up top on first down. Oh, he's going to try to hit him over the top. He's got it down the left. And they explode on that one, and they've got it down to the 22.
And he makes another big play for this offense. And, man, if I'm this defense, at some point I'm going to learn my lesson. We're in the second quarter. He's already over 100 yards. Like, I better start committing some resources to this guy, or else he's going to break some records because he is putting up some numbers.
Touchdown, Nittany Lions! They get it into the end zone to pay off that opportunity.
A really nice job on their final drive of the first half, David. Calm, cool, collected. They had balance, excellent execution. They're going to take a lead in here at halftime.
So much easier to go into half with that positive momentum, that positive juice. Now we can point to what we just did. Great job taking the lead. Now you go make your halftime adjustments.
And the extra point puts them up by a field goal. Quick work on that scoring drive, just 4 plays. They're getting set to kick it away, and that last score took a little oomph out of this crowd. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. So let's see how they play it in this final 30 seconds of the first half. They'll try to get outside. Fighting off the defender. Got to be smart, patient, great vision, uses all of that to get to the 29. The offense calls timeout, and they won't have any more left this half. He'll keep it himself. And the defense makes the tackle, and that ought to do it here in the first half. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin and our halftime update.
Gentlemen, one half in the books, and I am eagerly looking forward to that second half in Ann Arbor. And how do we possibly begin without singing the praises of this receiver? His ability to find gaps, run textbook routes, and then show that breakaway speed. He simply is the total package. How this secondary responds, whether they try to double team him or get aggressive at the line, that'll be the story of this second half. With that said, let's send it back to the fellas in the booth at Michigan Stadium.
Here he comes from inside his own 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. Michigan ready to get that offense rolling again. Quickly out to the tight end.
Well, it's a nice job, too, of the quarterback after the play fake there, getting his eyes down the field. He had to get that to his tight end quickly, knowing he wasn't going to have a lot of space to run with after the catch.
Going to the ground. This junior making his presence felt and making the stop after a short gain. 4 punts already, and they've got to convert here to avoid a 5th. It'll be a run on 3rd and short. Absolutely nowhere to go as this defense makes a 3rd down stop. The Wolverines will punt it away on 4th down. They may have to pay him overtime. He's punting for the 5th time today. Slips through the line. He's brought down, but a really solid effort to pick up every bit of yardage he could on the punt return. Snags a quick pass on the left. Shoved out of bounds after a big gain. They'll mark it at the plus 42. Now on 1st down from the 43-yard line. From the gun, the ground game. Able to pick his way forward for a decent gain before the defense gets him down. Halfway there on 1st down, it's 2nd and 5. Takes it on the shovel. He is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose yards on that one. Looking for a man. It's Pitts. A shot toward the end zone. And that'll be incomplete as the pass is knocked away, but there is a penalty flag down. Let's see who it's on. So the penalty will not be enforced. The defense declines and stands on the result of the play. And they'll pat the kicker on the tail and tell him to go give it a shot. This crowd trying to do its part to get inside the kicker's head. What a disappointment. No good. It's still a 3-point game after the miss.
Oh, man, the dreaded doink when you knock it off the crossbar. Those are ones where, man, just a couple inches to the other side, towards the middle, and that thing's in, but it still counts as a missed opportunity.
He's got an open man. And how about that? What the doctor always ordered, an explosive play to the 40. Looking to throw on 1st down. Dumps it to the back. It's complete. Brought down just outside the red zone. He moves the chains. It's at the 22. They believe they can run right here. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. Lost 1 on that last one. It's 2nd and 11. To the ground with the back. They make the stop, but you can't give up 4 yards a chunk on the ground down in this area of the field. It's at the 18. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Now facing a 3rd and long. The snap sets up to throw. Flips it out on the screen. He's got enough. It'll be a 1st down. They've got it up to 12. And the Wolverines come to the line with a fresh set of downs. The give to the tailback. They get him stopped, but those feet kept moving until he was down to the 5. It'll be 2nd down, and remember, they can pick up a 1st without scoring. Quick handoff. And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it. Not a lot of ground to cover and not much to defend. A big third down in the red zone. Dropping back, it's Vincent. Looking to the end zone. Touchdown, Wolverines! And with that, they've got the lead here in the second half.
One of the areas they really focused on with this receiver in the offseason was we need you to make more plays for us in the end zone. When we're taking shots, we need you to be able to step up and make tough catches. David, what a grab right there.
And I think a lot of that has to do with trusting your guy, knowing where he's going to be, knowing when he's going to sit down, when he's not. So being on the same page, and then having a guy that can go get it. Just when the ball is near him, he's going to make the play, just like he did right there for 6 points.
He'll bring it out. It's Johnson. Rolling the dice to bring it out of the end zone did not work out as he stopped at the 13. The Nittany Lions going back to work on offense now. They'll run it on the counter. Now they've got breathing room. Got 6 all the way out to the 20. The Nittany Lions with a second and short to keep this drive moving. They'll go right back to the run. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield. More than 100,000 making their presence felt. A huge third down here in the big house. From the gun, wants to pass. He's got his man across the middle. Has plenty for the first down, and they stop him at the 28. New set of downs after the completion. Finds his tight end. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there. Still a bit short of the first down. They'll line up for a second down play. Back to pass. Fires to the tight end. They get him down at the 49, but not before he picks up 15.
And in this offense, you know, as a quarterback, you're going to get opportunities to put up some pretty big numbers. You've been impressed watching this guy play early this year. With that last pass completion, he's now already over 2,000 yards on the season.
The Nittany Lions are moving quickly down the field. Motion from the wide receiver. Off play action on first down. Going to throw it over the top of the D. Makes the grab down the left side. Ripping through the defense and getting it all the way down to the 24-yard line.
Well, how about the offense setting that play up? We've seen earlier in the game a couple shorter throws. They're just trying to suck those safeties closer to the line of scrimmage, anticipating that they would get an opportunity to take a shot. They called the perfect play at the perfect time right there.
That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball. Wants to throw. It's Pitts. He's got him in the flat. And good coverage by the defense, just a short game. Now, they missed a field goal on the last drive, but you need to get points here, so they need to pick up some yardage. He'll take a shot. Touchdown, Penn State! Grabbed in the end zone to put 6 on the board.
And it's so underrated, the relationship between a QB and a wide receiver, the timing, the ability to know where he's going to be and be accurate with the football, that's what leads to nice touchdowns, Jesse.
Well, and the chemistry between these two guys has to be great when you're throwing into the end zone because coverage is going to be tight. The throw might not be perfect, but this is something these two guys have been repping in practice over and over and over, and it's paying dividends now on game day.
And the extra point puts them up by a field goal. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Guys, every game in the Big Ten so very critical. How about this one today? Northwestern has the lead right now. Feels like they've been on top since the walk with a send-off, but they haven't been able to pull away. They're up by 7 over Nebraska. It's an outcome that, if it holds, will have Big Ten fans buzzing all week. Guys?
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. Got the completion on the last play. Still some work to do on second down. He'll pull it on the read. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple. It'll be 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Got his man on the right. Across the 30, out of bounds at the 31-yard line, and they kick-started this drive with that one. We've reached a break, and Penn State is on top. Let's take a quick look at the national rankings to see how this playoff race is shaping up. Here comes the 4th. Time to see who steps up, who makes the winning plays to take home that W. So 1st down will open up the final period. The give to the single back. Got the 1st down and more. All down, but he has enough to move the chains. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. The Wolverines have it with a 1st and 10. To the air, it's Vincent. Fires to the right. It's complete. And he was on his way, and they get him down at the 30.
Man, this offense is so dangerous, Reese. They've got dudes all over the field that can make plays. There's a big gainer in the pass game.
You get a chunk of yards like that, now the defense is really on its heels. Leaves it with the back. Plows through the defense. Able to pick up a couple down to the 27. Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on 2nd down. Just feeds the running back. What a nice job by the defense to string it out, not give him any kind of alley, and knock him down for a loss. On 3rd and long, he has to throw for it. They've got the screen set up. He stopped right there, short of the 1st down, in this defense trying to preserve the lead. So now we'll line up for one of the biggest kicks of this game. Never a doubt for this big-footed guy. 49-yard field goal is good.
And this kicker has ice water in his veins. 4th quarter, you need to make the field goal to tie it up, and that kid just drilled it.
Here comes the kickoff as we are all tied up in the 4th quarter. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Penn State sends the offense back onto the field. Looking for a physical attack from the gun. And he never had a chance, just stopped cold as soon as he got it. After getting knocked back to open this drive, it's 2nd and 12. Wants to go up top. Makes the grab. Lowers those pads. He steps out right at the 40-yard line, and now they are in business moving toward midfield. Back to pass, it's Pitts. Just a short pass to the tight end. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that 1st down marker. Quarterback keeper. Turning it on!
Man, that quarterback can go. Just another guy in another system all across college football. All quarterbacks nowadays, they got so much speed, it's ridiculous.
Man, I'm telling you, that has to be exhausting for the defensive lineman trying to chase down guys like that.
It's silly because even when it's a design play and it's a design run like here, fine. But then it's scramble plays and then it's passing plays. He's always a runner, just exhausting.
Got 3 on 1st down at 2nd and 7. Looking to fire. Takes the easy completion. The ball is down at the 14 after that grab. This crowd knows when to bring it. They'll snap it from the gun on 3rd down. Pocket breaking down. And the pass is incomplete here on 3rd down, but there is a flag. Let's check it out. They'll decline the penalty here and let the result of that play stand. So on 4th down, here comes the field goal kicker in a huge spot. And he curls that thing just inside the left upright. And after the field goal, guys, they are back on top.
And I think I like the call, man. You got an opportunity to take the lead in the 4th quarter. go for the kick. He executes it perfectly. Defense, now it's your turn. We got the lead. We got to get a stop.
On the move from inside his 5. And the return man's journey is stopped, but there is a flag on the play. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. A long way to go for this offense. Leaves it with the running back. Finds just a bit of room. He'll pick up a couple to the 11. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. After picking up a couple, it's 2nd and 8. Back to throw, it's Vincent. Gets it out quickly. He's really close to that first down marker, but they stop him just a bit short. And the Wolverines are at the line trying to move the sticks on 3rd and short. To the ground to try to pick up the first. All down, but he has enough to move the chains. Ball spotted at the 21. It's 1st down. Might as well give it to him again. This time the defense was ready, and they stop him in his tracks. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Didn't get much on 1st down. It's 2nd and 9. They'll give it to the back. He's stuffed after picking up 1 to the 23.
And what's the closest guy to the football, man? It's those defensive tackles, and those guards and centers have to work together. They got to get those guys and get some movement. They don't on this play, and the big fella eats. Nowhere to go. When you run into him, you usually meet the ground.
Throws to the wideout. And the big deflection on 3rd down forces a 4th down. The Wolverines will send out the punt unit. And these guys have been busy. 6th punt of the day. They'll get down and put a stop to this return. They'll mark it at the 32. The Nittany Lions going back to work on offense now. Coming out on 1st down with the play fake. And the defense makes a play, and they get the quarterback down at the 26.
This defense, they are tenacious, and they've got guys up front that are athletic and that are so strong and that can collapse the pocket. You saw it right there in that play action attempt.
And the Nittany Lions trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. Pulls and throws off the RPO. Didn't pick up a lot there, moved it forward just a few. Big noise in the big house for this huge 3rd down play. Looking downfield, it's Pitts. He's going to throw deep right side. He's got it inside the 15. And he's brought down after making the big catch, but not before he picks up more than 40.
And how about the big strike down the field? I love when offenses take shots down the field, try to make big plays. Now they're set up in the red zone.
The Nittany Lions will snap it on 1st and 10. Use the play fake, now to throw. Got his man on the outside. That throw and catch gets them down to the 6, and the defense is running out of answers. Time is on their side, and they're going to wind that play clock all the way down. The give as they work on that clock. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield. Timeout is called, and it's the defense wanting to make sure that everyone's on the same page for this big down. Bringing the heat. Oh, and he took a shot as he threw that one away. So here we are on 4th down, and this field goal kicker is going to face all the pressure in the world. Splits the uprights, it's good. And now it'll take a touchdown to at least tie them a 6-point lead here in the 4th.
And listen, y'all know in the booth and everywhere how I feel about kickers. Don't always love leaving it on their foot, so to speak, but nice job executing. He keeps doing stuff like that. I'll keep trotting him out there.
And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. So here comes the Michigan offense. They're in a precarious spot here, that lofty perch in the rankings, hanging in the balance unless they can do something to save themselves here. He stopped just a chain link or two away from the first down and sets them up beautifully here.
QBs that can run completely change your game plan. I mean, every single bit of it. You have to understand now as a pass rusher, I got to keep him in the pocket. I got to understand all the zone read concepts and the power read and the jet read, all the different things they can do to you. So, having a guy back there at the helm that can run the football, you better be alert of it from the first play to the end of the fourth quarter.
Look out, he's got room. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. And the Wolverines in a good spot here with 2nd and short. To throw, it's Vincent. And that's going to fall to the ground incomplete. That was a physical matchup there. 3rd down coming. They'll try to get the first through the air. Got his man out of the backfield. They'll stop him short on 3rd down in this defense, trying to make sure they stay on top. They knock him down, but he's got enough to get it across the line and pick up the first down. A fresh set of downs after that 4th down conversion, but still the up-tempo as they get to the line quickly. Quickly to the tight end. And there might have been trouble if they hadn't gotten to him immediately. Clock's running, and they'll try to get to the line warp speed for 2nd down. Back to throw, and he needs to make a play. Takes the easy one to the back. They'll bring him down, but not before he put people in the spin cycle. It's a 1st down. They'll stop the clock to reset the chains. Offense up-tempo. Backed up now. Here's 2nd and long. Wants to pass, and he's got to make a play. Finds his back in the middle. He hauled that one in and got it down to the 15-yard line. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. The Wolverines come to the ball trying to pick up this 3rd and short. They'll try to get it through the air. Looking for the score! And he can't find his man as he was trying to pay off this red zone opportunity. Time is not on their side. Down 6 late. 4th down looming. They'll have to get this to stay in it. Into the end zone, and it is grabbed for the score, and now they can take the lead with the extra point.
That touchdown ties the game, so you're expecting them just to kick the extra point, take a 1-point lead. Seconds left now. You got to play great defense here to try to ice this game and get the win.
Just an extra point away from taking the lead late. And they did have to knock through the extra point to move on top, and they have the lead in the 4th. And that one ought to help us build the drama down the stretch. He'll take a knee. It's a touchback save every second he can as they try to put together this final drive. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. Got enough for the 1st down. They'll use a timeout with 26 seconds left on the clock. Got to move quickly here. They need to get it to field goal range. To the air. It's Pitts. Finds the tight end. The offense will use a timeout. Clock is stopped with 22 seconds left. They've got to move quickly here. Still a chance, but they've got to force the ball down the field. Wants to fire on 2nd down. Soft spot in the middle. Offense uses a timeout. 17 seconds left on the clock. The Nittany Lions will snap it on 1st and 10. Looking to throw on 1st down. Swings it out to his running back. And just a short, safe pass play. They pick up a few. Working well behind the sticks on 2nd down. He'll spike the ball to try to save every precious second he can. And they are coming out for what will be a huge field goal attempt. With the line of scrimmage at the 40, it'll take a 57-yarder to try to save the day. He slides that just inside the right upright. They have grabbed the lead in the waning seconds of the game, and they are so close to victory. They stop the return right there, and that will do it. This one is in the book. How much fun was that one? I mean, you just dream of having games like that every time you go into the booth. I'll watch those two teams play anytime.
Yeah, that's what's fun about good teams. Really good teams squaring off. Like, there wasn't a lot of difference between these two squads. We could watch these every week. Love calling these games because they're competitive. Great talent on the field. Palmer, unfortunately, somebody had to lose.
Yeah, and the higher-ranked team was ranked higher for a reason. At the end of the day, when it came down to it, they made the biggest plays in the most critical moments. Both of these teams have tremendous playmakers, and they're both going to make a lot of noise late in the college football season, but give the higher-ranked team tons of credit. They earned this one.
That will put the wrap on things from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis. You've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.